July 10th marked 6 months since the configuration of the 10th Parliament. Of course, the 10th Parliament came into being on January 10, 2012. With me to discuss the National Assembly and the Parliament holistically is first Presidential Advisor on Governance, Gil Teixeira, and with Mr. Shearer is Head of the Presidential Secretariat and Secretary to the Cabinet, Dr. Roger Luncheon. Of course, I am your host, Michael Gordon. Let me take this opportunity to welcome you to this program.
Thank you, Warren.
Thank you very much, Mike.
All right, the 10th Parliament, very interesting, and of course this program is specifically deemed the 10th Parliament and perhaps its transitions. If we could, but before we delve into the 10th Parliament, and I'll start with you perhaps, Dr. Luncheon, could you speak a bit, and very significant is the prominence that has been given to the parliaments, the various parliaments, as we came through the years, especially in more recent times. If we could go as far back as the 6th Parliament through the night, walk me through these parliamentary existence.
Well, Michael, I think it is important when we speak about Parliament and we focus on transitions that we are indeed paying attention to what was before and what came after to actually bring out the sense of transition. And certainly 1992 and the dawn of a new era, the return to democracy, presented significant challenges for the Parliament in Guyana. Most importantly was to recover the importance that Parliament has always had in the life of the people, in terms of giving direction, being a forum where the voices of the leaders were first sitting in January
10,
to our anticipated last sitting in early August, to spend some quality time among the body politic, among Guyanese, to determine, yes, indeed, that what these transitions that we have seen over the 6 months, what they have afforded us, is a resolve to commit ourselves to more of what we actually enjoyed and saw develop 1992 to 2011, or indeed that these events in the 6 months, they have indeed cast a shadow, and indeed we can not look forward to the Parliament being what it was, what we anticipated, what we put enormous energy into making from 1992 to 2011.
Permit me to ask Mr. Shearer this. Dr. Luncheon referred to the break in the parliamentary session. And of course, what are some of the things you would like to see the opposition, and he spoke specifically to the whole notion of introspection, I would assume both on the part of the government side and on the side of the opposition. What would you like to see the opposition perhaps reflect on themselves? How? And also the government side.
Well, I mean, first of all, we have to say what they've done in the 6 months and what they need to reflect on. I mean, the fact that we could list them quickly, the changes that have taken place in the Parliament, the election of a Speaker and a Deputy Speaker, both from the opposition, despite attempts to reach agreement, the supplementary financial papers, the budget, the committees, all these things that have reversed what are not only parliamentary norms and conventions, but now amending the standing orders to make sure. And the absurd and bizarre things that they've done, we're wanting to change the standing orders to put the government in a minority, in actual words in the standing orders. In all the committees they have majority, and so forth. So that if they continue down this line of bulldozering, motions have come up that we have put amendments. Simple amendments, probably the most bizarre one had to do with the Hansards, which is an innocuous issue. And they voted it down. They said bring back the supplementary financial paper. We brought it back, voted it down. So that if we're talking about them having time to reflect about what path are they taking Guyana down, is that do they intend to continue with this bulldozer, triumphalism, and so on? And so I think, Michael, they're having their party congresses coming up.
Both opposition parties.
That's what I understand, and they have the recess shortly after that. They need to really think from a Guyanese point of view whether they wish to go down this path or whether they want to uphold rather than unravel what are the basic norms and practices and conventions within the Parliament and what we have ourselves created in this Parliament. When we talk about we, I think both Roger and I, we're not only talking about we meaning government, we're talking about we that worked in that Parliament, we the parties, the leaders and so on, who worked in that Parliament prior to 2011 and up to 2011 to bring our Parliament to this point where it was seen as a progressive, one of the most progressive parliaments in the entire English-speaking Caribbean. What is